Today I wanted to tell you all my sepsis story. Before I begin, I just want to put out a trigger warning, content warning for emetophobia. If you have that, don't watch this video. Also, please bear with me as I'm dealing with brain fog from this situation. So, on Monday, this past Monday, I was feeling really sick. I couldn't keep anything down. I had a fever of 103. And so my mom decided it was time for us to go to the hospital. Well, I told her it was time to go to the hospital because I knew something was wrong. So she took me to the hospital. And when we got there, they put me in a wheelchair because I was so dizzy I thought I was going to pass out. And then we were waiting in the waiting room, and my mom had to wheel me into the bathroom 3 times to throw up because I just couldn't. I just was so sick. We waited for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And after that amount of time, they put us in a triage room for like 5 minutes. And in that time, I'm diabetic, so they did my finger stick, and that was fine. Like, it was a little high, but it wasn't high enough to be the problem of what was going on. They took my temperature. It was 102.6, so very close to what it was on the thermometer at home. And my heart rate was 150, like 150. So they were like, hold on a sec, we're gonna see what we can do to get you a room. And I expected, oh, we'll probably wait here for a few more hours in this triage room. Wrong. 2 minutes later, they roll me into the trauma 1 room. And suddenly there's like 3 people in the room with me, and they're all like hurrying along, getting stuff together, and poking me and prodding me and putting stuff on my chest for like heart monitoring and blood pressure cuff and the pulse thing they put on your finger, and 2 IVs, 1 in each arm. And they were getting blood work from through the IV because they hadn't put anything through the IV, so they were getting blood work through there. And just asking me a bunch of questions and doing workups and stuff like that. And I was just so out of it. I'm sure they were doing other stuff that I can't remember. They hung up 2 huge bags of fluids that went through at the same time, and they knew right away that I was septic. Like, as soon as I was in the room, they're like, he's septic. And so they started the septic protocol, and they, at some point, they sent me down for a chest CT and chest x-ray and a stomach CT. I feel like they might have also done one of my head, but I'm not entirely sure. Again, I was so out of it. I was like throwing up all the time and just like not with it. And then they found out through my blood work that a lot of stuff was off. Like, I saw the blood work in my patient portal. There was like 20 things that were off. And some of the big ones were my electrolytes. So the only electrolytes that were normal were my sodium and potassium. My calcium, my magnesium, and my phosphate were all off by quite a bit. So I had to get those through an IV. Then when they realized it was the sepsis, they also hung a bunch of bags of antibiotics. I would get like 1 bag, and then like 2 hours later I'd get another bag, and they'd run for like 4 hours. And then other times I'd get 1 bag, it would end, they'd put another one directly on. I don't really know how they decide, which one goes, like, I don't know how they decide which ones you wait 2 hours for a new bag to be put up, or how much, and which ones you wait no time at all. Anyway, I don't know if that made any sense. So eventually they sent me up to the inpatient floor, but right before they sent me up to the inpatient floor, I started throwing up a bunch, and none of us could figure out what the hell I was throwing up because I hadn't eaten anything. All I had was like a half a cup of water at most. So I'm not really sure what I was throwing up, and neither are they. So I get sent up to inpatient, and they did all their assessments and whatnot, and got my blood work again. I got blood work so many times there, it was ridiculous. They had to start doing it in my hands because my elbows were occupied with IVs, and when getting those in your hands hurt so bad. Anyway, so I was on a bunch of IVs, like different things, like it was wild. and I I think it was the second day there, I felt really sick, like I was gonna throw up again. So, and they gave me Zofran through an IV, and it didn't help. So they gave me Ativan through an IV, and oh my god, that stuff will really get you. Um, I was like, whoa, I was on another planet. Let me tell you. Um, I was hallucinating everything. Like, it was really weird. Like, I could hear me and my mom having a conversation, and then I opened my eyes and she wasn't even in the room. She wasn't even in the hospital. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to think of. I mean, basically after that, it was just like maintenance of like taking care of everything. Like constant antibiotics, constant fluids, constant electrolyte, stuff like that. They did find out the cause on my second to last day that it was strep throat. I did not know I had strep because I didn't have that like really bad sore throat. So I was like, well, so I had no idea it was strep until my mom tested positive the day before that, and so they decided to test me. My fever did eventually break through after having like a bunch of IV Tylenol and oral Tylenol, so that was really good. Because that was really miserable having that, having a fever that high. Anyway, what else? Um, yeah, I'm sorry, my brain is like really fogging right now, like really badly. Um, my body was aching so much. I still go through periods of it aching really badly. Um, but yeah. Um, God, I'm sorry. My brain is really bad right now. I know there's more to what it happened, and I can't think right now, so I'm just gonna stop this video here. If you watched all this, thank you, and if not, I understand it's a long video. Alright, thank you, bye.